Hello! We have one longer story today. Actually, it's very long. The kind of long that needs to be split up across today and tomorrow's video. One story with humble beginnings in AITA over a simple, mundane disagreement of a hobby purchase spirals into multiple other subs as one woman navigates an increasingly unreasonable husband and begins to unravel years of lies and maybe a double life. The story seems to have ended for now with a final update just days ago. We are reading a repost by Lucy Aria Rose, my favorite Boru poster, so the relevant comments are included by them, but I've removed the recaps by OP on each update. And as always, your support helps fight the Reddit bot menace. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Get ready for a wild saga, starting with Story 1. Am I the jerk? Husband accused me of financial infidelity. July 3rd, 2023. Husband, 33-year-old male, and I, 33-year-old female, have been married for 10 years together since college. Since starting out, we have made financial security a priority and have been able to achieve that, albeit with some good luck along the way. We both have good jobs paying close to $200K each. Student loans were paid off within a few years. Both went to state schools with some scholarships, so didn't have a lot of debt to begin with. We live in a house I inherited from my grandmother, no mortgage, and don't have any credit card debt. We max out our 401ks and currently have 18 months of expenses in our emergency fund and are still adding to it. Our cars are both paid off and should be good for another 5+ years, and we don't have any credit card debt. We manage our finances in a hybrid manner, joint accounts for bills and savings, and separate accounts for our fun money. We each get a pretty generous monthly allotment. The fun money is strictly for our individual expenses, hobbies, clothes, outings with friends, etc., and not for things like date nights, vacations, or larger joint purchases like household appliances and repairs, which come out of our joint account. We also agreed that if either of us gets any bonuses or has any side hustle income, those will go into our individual fun money accounts, unless the funds are needed for a larger expense such as a major home repair. In terms of the fun money, my husband is much more of a spender than I am due to expensive hobbies. In particular, golf and collecting sports memorabilia. And he's also more into designer clothes, which is fine. It's his fun money. On the other hand, my hobbies are a lot less expensive. Running, working out, reading, baking. In general, I'm more introverted, and a great time for me is tea with a friend at one of our homes, with homemade pastries. I have also been getting back into gaming lately after setting it aside for much of the past decade while building my career. After realizing I had more than enough in my fun money account, I decided to overhaul my gaming setup and got myself a new PC, desk, and gaming chair. Total cost of about $5,000. However, upon hearing about the purchase, my husband is furious. He says he had no idea I had saved so much money and that I should have consulted him before spending $5,000. I asked what difference it made if it was my own accrued fun money and not our joint funds, and he insisted that my accumulating this amount without telling him was a form of financial infidelity. He says he lost trust in me and doesn't know what else I might be hiding. He is demanding that I return the items I purchased and deposit most of the funds to our joint account. He wants to make a new rule that fun money accounts can't accumulate more than $2,000 and that any excess goes back to the joint account. A rule that would obviously favor him as a person who spends most of his allotment each month instead of saving up for anything bigger. I feel like I am being punished for being more of a day-to-day saver than spender. It wouldn't occur to me to demand to know how much my husband has in his fun money account or to try to micromanage what he spends it on. I wasn't hiding anything deliberately. He never asked about it until after I made the purchases. Still, maybe I should have been more transparent about my plans. So am I the jerk? Miscellaneous info. Husband and I each have our own office and hobby room in the house, so it's not like the gaming setup was going in a space he uses. I don't usually game when my husband is home unless he's already busy doing something else. My biggest block of gaming time is typically when he's off playing golf. Also, I run 40 to 50 miles a week, so it's not like I am generally sedentary. I can't think of a good reason why he would object to me gaming or having a nice gaming setup in my own space in the house. Relevant comments. I actually have a lot more than $5K saved. We have had this arrangement for a few years, and I typically only spend about $500 of my allotted $1,500 per month. Maybe a bit more some months if I need to replace my running shoes, buy other clothes, or have any outings with friends planned, like concerts, but in that range. Girl, what does he actually contribute to your household? Although our incomes are about equal, I work shorter hours at home with occasional in-office days or business travel, and he works long hours in the office, plus an hour of commuting time each way. Perhaps because I'm home all the time, having a very tidy home and fresh cooked meals is a priority for me. I primarily do those things for me and not for him, even though he benefits as well. I'd still have to cook and clean if I were living in the house by myself, unless I wanted to hire someone to do those things, but I don't, as I generally enjoy cooking and housework. We do have breakfast together most days, unless he has to leave early, dinner together most days, and weekend date activity time in addition to pursuing our own hobbies. He's smart, hilarious, and a delightful companion, at least other than this latest issue. I realize I haven't emphasized the positive in this thread because I've been pretty pissed. But other than this, he has been a great partner and husband. People are confused on how much money they have, so OP elaborates. Together, we have joint cash savings of $250K plus retirement savings approaching the 7-figure mark. Could he be hiding a debt or gambling addiction? I manage all our bank accounts and check them daily and also handle all the bill pay. Nothing suspicious so far. He admits he's not great with money and would spend more without a budget. Update 1, July 11th, 2023. My husband finally calmed down enough to have a conversation with me, as many others who provided comments suggested. It wasn't really about the money, but a window into larger issues in our relationship. Essentially, my husband has been feeling increasingly unhappy with me for a while for the following reasons. In general, he feels that he's a lot more committed to his career development than I am to mine. It's true that although we currently have about the same income, the ceiling for his field, finance, is a lot higher than the one for mine, tech software dev. He's currently in an executive training program and I'm decidedly not. He's feeling resentful that he's having to work long hours in a high-pressure environment, while I get to work primarily at home doing something that is fun and fairly easy for me, and I'm not stretching myself to do more. He's concerned that over time these resentments are going to build, and that I'm not going to end up pulling my weight financially if he takes huge leaps in his career and I don't. He remarked that since getting back into gaming a few months ago, I have been putting a bit less effort into cooking. I do nearly all the cooking because I work at home and have an easier schedule. It's true that I have been fixing simpler meals, things like grilled chicken salads or chili with cornbread, instead of elaborate meals with fussier foods and several sides. He has also noticed that I haven't been doing the elaborate table settings I used to, with flowers on the table, fancy placemats, etc. Honestly, I didn't realize he noticed or cared about this, but apparently he does. Acts of service are one of his main love languages, so overall, he's feeling a little neglected because of this. He also feels I'm not putting enough effort into my appearance. Not in terms of weight or body. I'm a long-distance runner and slim, but in terms of things like clothes, hair, etc. It's true that I've never paid much attention to these things, given that I work at home in tech. The standard for appearances is extremely low, and I far exceed that. I tend to buy simple, practical clothes at places like Target and Walmart, don't wear much makeup, and keep my hair in a simple ponytail. I do glam up a lot more for date nights and other dressy occasions, but most days he comes home from work to find me in a t-shirt and yoga pants with no makeup, and he wants me to make more of an effort. The bottom line is that because of all these things, he's starting to notice other women. Says he hasn't cheated, he's just noticing other people because he's regularly disappointed in me. In particular, given that he works in finance, there are a good number of very career-oriented type A women who manage to have fantastic bodies, be effortlessly polished and glam, and have more interesting hobbies. He also says he feels horrible about all this because he knows I am a good person and that he's being judgmental. That it's not so much I've changed as that his own goals and expectations have changed in the past couple years. The financial infidelity part came into it because he feels I'm not really investing in myself and our relationship, thus cheating on our future, in a sense. He also says he loves me enough to be honest. I do believe he isn't trying to be hurtful. I really had to drag this all out of him. That he doesn't want us to drift apart further, that he doesn't want to be angry and resentful, and he knows he is asking for a lot. Does he know? Does he really? I know that many on this sub might say I should just tell him to take a hike and call my lawyer, but we've been married for 10 years. I have invested a lot in the relationship and I want to see if the marriage can be saved. So a couple things. First, we did make an appointment with a marriage counselor and start next week. Also, I'm going to try do at least some of the above. I'm not sure about making myself be more professionally ambitious when I'm already happy with my work-life balance and we're already financially very comfortable. Though I can at least try do the other things, return to spending more time on cooking and decor, and fix myself up a bit when he's on his way home from work, now that I know they are important to him. I also know that in the end, I may feel like I am just tiptoeing around and contorting myself to please him. It won't cost me much, certainly much less than a divorce, to try for a month or two and then see how we both feel. And I know I would always regret it if I didn't try. So maybe not the update that you were expecting or hoping for, but that's where things are. And if folks continue to be interested, I can update further once we have started marriage counseling and once I can feel out how the changes are going. Edit. I need to call it a night, but once again, thank you to everyone for your responses. I have a lot to think about, such as, what do I really want here? What is going to make me happy, especially if I have to keep making myself smaller, metaphorically speaking, and contorting myself to please my husband? Do I really want to be in a marriage under those conditions? I think I'm really selling myself short if I just agree to most of what he demands. Still, going to go to the marriage counseling appointment, but I think I will wait to make any other changes until we can at least get some professional input. Additional edit. To clarify, my typical at-home attire look that he has been complaining about looks something like this. This is not me, but a similar look. Fitted short-sleeve shirt, yoga pants, hair in a ponytail. Something that looks casual but neat. I am not wearing sloppy, baggy sweatpants and oversized t-shirts. Relevant comments. Many of OP's comments before her edit are her explaining why she will do what her husband has requested. Here is an example. I want to show my husband that I am hearing him and taking his concerns and feelings seriously enough to at least try to make an effort in what he asked. If it doesn't work, it doesn't, and we can still separate a couple or few months down the road. But I would definitely regret not even trying. More in depth of their relationship, what she does, what he feels, apparently. To answer your questions, yes, we each currently make about $200K, so $400K between the two of us. And yes, his concern is that he's going to get promoted to a much higher salary executive position. He's currently being mentored and trained for such a position, which will pay $500K plus. He is due to be promoted in the next couple years if all goes well with the mentoring program, and I'll fall behind in earnings. Granted, we don't need the money for anything as we don't have debt of any kind, don't have and aren't planning on having kids, and already have close to $1 million in retirement savings with 30 plus years left to work. But he's feeling like I'm going to be somehow riding his coattails, taking advantage of him, coasting while he just works harder and harder with longer and longer hours. All of the above, I suppose. In terms of meals, yes, I do all the prep, cooking, table setting, and cleanup. I do actually really enjoy it, and part of it is self-care for me, not just taking care of him. After all, I get to eat the food too. And as I work at home, I usually make enough that I can have food for lunch the next day too. I know this doesn't seem fair and that others probably think he should contribute more, but it really doesn't bother me at all, as long as he does enjoy and appreciate it. In terms of work, I'm usually done by 5 or 6 p.m., and these days he doesn't get home until about 9 p.m. So I wouldn't have to wear makeup and dressy clothes for work. I could just quickly change and fix my hair and makeup when he's on his way home. I don't think the clothes necessarily need to be designer. I can buy blouses, skirts, and dresses at Target just as well as t-shirts and yoga pants, or shop thrift stores or department sales. I do agree that the women he is comparing me to probably don't wear fancy clothes and makeup at home. He's just seeing them in professional settings that require formal business dress. Anyway, I appreciate you saying I haven't done anything wrong here. There is a difference between a preference and a boundary. It's true that he did use the word boundary in our conversation where he revealed his unhappiness with me. As in, I have realized it's a boundary for me to be able to come home to a nicely dressed wife who has prepared a thoughtful meal. And yes, I do realize that completely misuses the word boundary. Oh, goodness me, something smells fishy here, and it is not an elegantly baked salmon made by OP with all the sauces and sides one could hope for. It sounds to me like OP's husband is setting a table for something, and it ain't good. This guy has what many would consider to be a unicorn, a traditional stay-at-home type wife who revels in maintaining a house straight out of House and Home magazine and brings in $200K a year No big deal. And she's not trying hard enough? Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the big reveal and find out what's really going on here. And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.